Hello, friends. Welcome to another Cotopaxi conversation. I'm here today, actually in Zoom, with Margot Solberg, a very well-known member of our faculty. Margot, how long have you been a teacher, and particularly a teacher here in Quito?
Well, I started teaching in 1987, and I've been a teacher here for the last 20 years.
Wow, that's a long time. In a big organization, in a system like education, change can often be kind of like at a glacial pace, very slow. I remember doing a workshop about 20 years ago in a second grade classroom and commenting on the fact that second grade classroom looked a lot like my second grade classroom, which was about 50 years ago, and not much different than the classroom of my mother over 70 years ago, save for a few computers and other technology that had been added to the classroom. But now we're seeing massive disruptions and opportunities also for change in how we do everything, including in schools. So reflecting on your years of watching the magic of learning in your classrooms, what have you learned as an educator through these past 6 or so months since the COVID changed our lives?
I would say that a growth mindset is something that Academic Cotopaxi has emphasized for a long time, especially in the elementary division and with our guidance counselors. But even more so in the last 6 months, I think it's even more important to be practicing. So what does that mean? It means it's an opportunity more than just having a positive mindset. It's really, one, showing grit, that when times get tough, you still keep going and going, but at the same time, having resilience, meaning pushing yourself just enough, but then taking a break, having self-care, and then regrouping and going back on to continue showing grit. It's also solution-oriented, and it's mindfulness. So mindfulness meaning that when you find your mind wandering to the past, that you're not, I want to say enganchado, you're not caught up in any kind of regrets, but at the same time, if your mind goes to worrying in the future, something that hasn't happened yet, you come back to your present, showing gratitude. So these are things with the kids in the classroom, grit, resilience, gratitude, that are research-based actually, and have shown that they really help with our health overall, physical and emotional.
There are also things that you really can't learn from a textbook, only through practice. We definitely have lots of practice now. That's such an important message. Thank you so much. We have seen how important also through this time, how important it is for us to be well-informed and to understand the role of scientific inquiry that it plays in our lives, enhancing our lives, but also at times like this, actually safeguarding our lives. One thing also that we share is a passion for science. I know that you have made it a center point for your 4th grade classes. And for me also, as a history and geography teacher, for me, the most inspirational moments in a class were when we examined the revolutionary minds that transformed our world. The Darwins, the Newtons, Copernicus, Curie, Einstein, Watson, and Crick. We truly stand on the shoulders of giants. What lessons do you hope for your students and their families that they will learn from not only your classes, but also from the world around us as we pass through these times?
The word that keeps coming up in my mind again and again is the word evidence. Being an aerospace buff and also a history major myself, if you think back to the 1950s during the space race, STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, were hugely emphasized because between the United States and Soviet Union at that time, there was a big competition. And what I'm noticing globally is that evidence, data, science are being put to the wayside and not given the precedence that it should be given as before. So as an example, for example, in the classroom, using the word evidence all the time. If you're reading a book and you have an opinion, it doesn't matter what your opinion is if you can base it on text evidence. Go back to the text, find the quote. How does that support your opinion? Same thing with math. Many ways to solve a problem, but don't just give the answer. Go back and prove it. Show what did you done? How did you get to that conclusion? Same thing with science. What's the data? What are the outliers? I think in these times it's extremely important, especially in the time of social media, which is really about opinions, not based on facts or data. So more than anything, for students, teachers, administrators, parents, we want to help build a generation that goes back to that goes back to evidence and basing any kind of opinion in fact. That's my 2 cents.
That's such an important message at this time. We can see how important it is to be well informed and to understand the role of scientific inquiry and how it plays not only enhancing our lives through all the wonderful inventions that we have seen through history, but also right now, really, it's safeguarding our lives. It's making the world a safer place for us. You know, I just on behalf of all of us here, I just want to thank you for your years of dedication to our school, to your students this year, but all through the previous years also. And also, you know, above that is that grander cause of understanding, appreciating, and protecting each of us in our community and also our precious world. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Much appreciated. And thank you for inviting me.
Have a great day.
You
Thank
too.
you.